Hello there everyone, and welcome to a special SnowRunner review here at Opafed Gaming. I am the Opafed. The top 5 reasons to never recover to the garage. Before you recover your truck or scout to the garage the next time, watch this first. Let's get into it. Reason number 5, helper vehicle. Here we are in our slider pulling a construction rig semi-trailer, and we can't quite make it around the corner, so we had our Plaid 450 close by, so we set him up so he could just gently pull the back end over, and then that way it made it a little bit easier to clear the corner. So our helper vehicle is really nice to have, other than trying to pull that trailer around the corner. I guess I could have tried to pull it with a winch onto a tree, but this was a little bit easier. Then of course there is the Avonhorn A15 seen here pulling a Ford 750 Scout, and he's pulling a utility trailer up the hill. Now this was the only way to get up the hill, and the snow was really deep. I could have made it up with the Scout, with the Ford by itself, but it would have taken about 3 or 4 times as long. So, thank you Avonhorn for the helping hand. And then there's the Plaid 450, seen here pulling the Mercer K520 through a pretty rough area with some deep mud and snow and some chunks of ice around. So, you know, it's kind of nice to have a helper truck around. I mean, who knows, we can all use a little bit of help every now and then. So, thank you Plaid 450 for that helping hand in a time of need. Reason number 4, close to next task. Every once in a while, when you're finishing a job somewhere and you leave your truck sitting around, like we did with the Avonhorn A15 here, we're at the port and we were just kind of lazing around doing some other jobs, and this particular job came up where we needed to deliver an oversized cargo container. I can't remember where it was, to the quarry site in Lake Riviere. So like I said, the Avonhorn happened to be here right at the end of my last task and at the beginning of this one. So, close by. Absolutely awesome. Let's go, boys. In this particular task, we needed to fuel up and repair the Mercer K520. Whoa, that is if we can keep the Kenworth 963 on its wheels. Anyhow, we needed to fuel them up and repair them, and we happen to have the Kenworth K963 on the ice not too far away, and like I said, he was close enough he could drive on over, repair the vehicle, refuel it, and finish the task. In this particular example, we had the Avonhorn A15, which we were going to use in a particular job, and we ended up not using it. We used a different vehicle, and when this job came up, the Avonhorn A15 was still sitting here by the warehouse, which was perfect. We needed a vehicle for 2 slots of cargo, and he just happened to be there. So there again, he was close by. He was right there at the start of the job. So that worked out very good. It's a good thing we didn't recover him to the garage. And in this example, the Mercer K520 was left at a previous job, and I went and did a bunch of other jobs, and this job here became available. Another good example of why you don't want to recover your truck to the garage right away if you can help it. Reason number 3, scout vehicle. Every once in a while, when you want to do a task and you're looking ahead at where you got to get your cargo and where you got to bring it to, and you're not sure about a route, you can always send out a vehicle, and you can use any one for this. You can use a truck or a scout, but you can go send them out to check out the route and what it's like, and if it's feasible to go that way. Then again, every once in a while, in this example, we have to check out the ice, make sure that we can actually cross it, because you never know. Here we are in our Kenworth 963, just checking out the ice on a different route that I wanted to take to deliver some cargo that would make it a little bit easier if this route was feasible. So I had to check it out. I was driving around with the Kenworth, just seeing, like I said, if it was a route that we could take. Scouting can be done with any kind of vehicle. You don't need to use a Scout only. You can use any truck you want, as long as it's got a little bit of fuel in it and it can move. We can use it as a Scout. And here in this example, we're in our Avonhorn A15, scouting a particular route for a task. And you know, every once in a while, when you're scouting, you happen to come upon another task that you haven't found before that got activated because of one reason or another. And just through scouting around and checking out where everything is, you end up activating it and having another job that you can do. So scouting is always a good thing. Don't recover your vehicles right away. Make sure you absolutely need them before you do that. Use them as a scout. Reason number 2, rescue vehicle. In this example, we are driving a Tuz that we left on the map, and we were working on a job with the Avonhorn A15. When we flipped over, we took the corner there a little bit too tight, and we flipped it over. But the Tuz was nearby, so he just came over to give us a hand and just pull us straight and get us up and rolling again. Rescue vehicle is probably one of the main reasons not to recover your vehicle to the garage right away, because it can really help you out. Because otherwise we would have had to recover the Avonhorn to the garage and then start all over from the beginning. Now we can continue on our journey just like that. Now in this next example, I was doing some scouting with the Tuz, a different Tuz, and I saw the trailer here in the ice. And I figured before I'm even going to get asked, I'm going to pull it out and rescue it and put it up on the snowbank here on the side, because you never know, I might come along with a different vehicle later on and I have to tow it up the hill somewhere. So here we are rescuing a Bigfoot trailer of some sort with the Tuz. And in this example, we were up here trying to get an upgrade with the Mercer K520, and we flipped it. As you can see, it's quite treacherous on the rocky area there, so it's really hard to know exactly where you can go and where you can go. But rather than recovering him to the garage and then having to drive 2 maps over and come all the way back and trying to climb back up there, the Avonhorn, which flipped himself and got helped by the Tuz in a previous little section, he came up and he straighten that little Mercer out. And you know something, if you do leave your truck out in the map every once in a while, it just might pay off by being able to reach and upgrade a little bit easier than it would without it. And the number one reason not to recover your truck to the garage right away is mobile fuel station. As you can see here, we are pulling a construction rig semi-trailer with our slider, and we are running a little low on fuel, and I believe we have quite a ways to go yet. So the Plaid, which would happen to be on the map, we go right by it, so we might as well use his fuel to fuel ourselves up. Now, I understand he is not a mobile fuel station, but he is a fuel station and he can move, as we will show you in the very next example, as we are driving in a Tuz, and we are going to deliver some fuel because we were in a job in the Mercer K520 for I think we were hauling 2 pallets of bricks. We wanted to use the little truck, and we ran out of fuel. We ran out of fuel and we're stuck right here until somebody is going to come along and give us a little bit of help. So the Tuz came along and going to fuel us up Just got to make sure that we pick the right target and source on our refuel menu, and we give him a little bit of fuel, and away he's going to go continue on his task. Now we don't have to recover the Mercer because the Tuz was there to help him. And then of course, the ultimate mobile fuel station. Every once in a while you have to bring out the big guns. You know, sometimes there are maps and you have to put fuel trailers out on the map. This one here, yeah, well, I thought I'd go a different route, and I'd pull a big fuel trailer out of the trailer storage, and thought I'd bring it over to the map, and every once in a while I'd just go around and just fuel everybody up. You know, and that way you're never going to run out of fuel because he's always around. If he's not going around fueling people up, you can always go and visit the Schleider for some fuel yourself. Anyhow, those are the main reasons why I will never recover my vehicle to the garage again. Now, if you're going to use that truck or Scout on the very next job, of course, that's different. But, you know, there's always exceptions to the rule. Anyhow, you can always recover them when you need them later. Can't always put them back on the map without driving there. I hope you found the video interesting. Until the next time, you've been listening to the Opafed.